Can you tell us why are you today here?
I'm here at this demonstration, which has been called after a report came out showing that the death toll in Gaza could be up to 186,000 people. And it's important for us to come here to show that we can see the truth of what is happening, because the British media and the British government have invested a lot in trying to cover up the truth of the atrocities that are taking place, not just in Britain, of course, but all over the world. And it's important to say that we know the truth of what's taking place, and also that we want to organise to do something about it.
Okay. Just we saw you in the famous interview with Sويلا برافرمان. Can you tell us about this interview and reaction of Sويلا? How it was shocking?
Yeah, I think the part of the interview that people like the most is when I say she's a liar and a war criminal. And I think it's because there's been a conspiracy of silence in the mainstream media in the West in particular at the role that Western governments have played in the atrocities taking place in Gaza and in Palestine. And so it felt satisfying and necessary to say to her face what so many people already think and know is true. That's why people like the interviews, because it was true what I said. And I think, yeah, she was a bit annoyed after the interview, but that's good, and hopefully it sets a tone for how all of us should confront these people. We shouldn't be diplomatic with war criminals.
We saw last few months a huge movement of students. How do you see it's important to keep going to supporting Palestinian people, or how can change in the future?
The student encampments have been amazing. I mean, UK universities invest something like nearly £500 million, right, in companies connected to Israel, and also I think connected to the IDF even. And so it's very important that the students are in part of this movement to get their universities to divest from that. But also I think what's significant about it is it showed a development in the struggle, right? We've been going on protests and marches, which are important, but the encampments represented an escalation. And so now we've got to think about how they can go further, and how the whole movement can go further after summer.
Finally, do you have any message to Prime Minister, new government, and for Palestinian people, especially people of Gaza?
Well, to Starmer, I'd say we know exactly who you are and what you represent, and we're going to organise ourselves in the best way possible in order to stop what you're doing and stop the system. And to the people of Gaza, I would say that, you know, the workers and the youth of the world are 100% with you, and we are on your side, and we are going to work as hard as we can in Britain to stop the role of the British government in your massacre and your genocide, which is completely unacceptable.